Hello there. I am Shaun McLaren, and this is Jeskai. Oh yeah. I love me some Jeskai control, so we're going to play it in Modern. It's been a while since I have played a more controlling style Jeskai without spell quellers. It's sort of fallen out of favor since the sort of spell queller Geist Tempo Jeskai and Saheeli Felidar Guardian Jeskai combo has sort of risen in popularity. I'm also trying kind of a new variant with a land destruction sort of sub-theme. Control and land destruction, which seems pretty good in this format. There's a lot of decks that are relying on their lands to sort of get ahead. The Eldrazi-tron, Normal-tron, Scapeshift are the big ones. So we're packing Spreading Seas and 4 Tectonic Edges, which are great together, since you can either Spreading Seas their basics and then Tectonic Edge their non-basics, or just Spreading Seas their land and then they have to play their 4th land, which turns on your Tectonic Edges, since you need your opponent to have 4 lands in play, which is sometimes a problem if your opponent just natural trons you with only 3 lands in play, but with Spreading Seas it basically makes sure they have to play at least 4 lands. So yeah, that's kind of a sub-theme. Oust is also you may not know what Oust is. If you've been watching me play Jeskai long enough, you probably do know what Oust is, because I love Oust as a card, even though it's not recommended, not for the faint of heart. Just play Lightning Bolt if you want to play it safe. But I don't want to play it safe. I want to play Oust. Oust is superior to Lightning Bolt in many different ways. First of all, you can oust something like a Thought-Knot Seer. Second of all, Oust is kind of land destruction. If you're ousting a card and then your opponent is drawing it 2 turns later, they're not drawing a land. So if they need to draw a land and instead they're drawing a useless creature, Oust just win you the game. Also, you can oust your own, say, Wall of Omens to gain 3 life against burn, which is actually surprisingly relevant. Or oust a Snapcaster Mage. And ousting a Wall of Omens or Snapcaster Mage isn't even bad, because they do something when you draw them again, which either draw a card or better, thanks to Snapcaster Mage. Back to the land base quickly, we also have Colonnades, which are going to close out a lot of our games, and then 1 Ghost Quarter for a bit of extra land destruction, and beyond that, pretty normal. Serum Visions is just going to be great card draw, pretty standard in almost every blue deck nowadays. It didn't used to be like that, but nowadays people are wise to how good Serum Visions is. Also, Wall of Omens here, a card I love. It's an 0/4 and it draws you a card, so it's like free. It's like a free 0/4 defender, which is great. Yeah. I mean, Wall of Omens doesn't need defending. It's Wall of Omens. It's amazing. Remand is pretty good with our sort of land destruction sub-theme as well. You want to just buy time and then blow up their lands a bit. And just a great card in Counter Wars, or just buying you time, cycling, finding you lands in the early game. Great card. Snapcaster Mage needs no introduction. Good, have a good density of spells and 4 cryptic commands, so Snapcaster Mage is going to be good. Spreading Seas, we already talked about. Lightning Helix over Lightning Bolt, just for a bit of extra life gain, and good with Snapcaster Mage as well. We want some density of life gain to help the burn matchup, basically. since our deck is pretty solid, or at least should be, against sort of the more mid-range control decks with our land destruction package. Electrolyze for a nice 3-drop, and just destroys some decks like Elves or Affinity, and cycles against decks where it's not good. 4 Cryptics, amazing. Cryptic is great. I love Cryptic Command. If you don't know what Cryptic Command does, look it up, because I'm using the textless version. Probably not the best card to make textless, since it has a lot of text, but what you gonna do? Everyone knows what Cryptic Command does anyways. So 2 Wrath effects. We don't have that much removal, so it's nice to have 2 Wrath effects. And then Ajani acting as a bit of extra life gain, and also can act as a bit of extra semi-land destruction by making lands not untap. So yeah, that's the main deck. Kind of solid. I was trying out some cards like Sun Titan, Crucible, Jace in the main deck, but this is more of a just a tight version. Not really any chaff. Just the best cards, the finest cards crammed in. So the sideboard, we have 2 relics for graveyard decks, 2 rejections for sort of mostly for the Rise of Eldrazi-tron, but there's a lot of decks it's decent against: Affinity, Big Tron, Lantern, that sort of thing. Just an efficient counter spell. Lightning Helix, so we can go up to 4 against burn decks, or if we need just spot removal, it's good there too, even though obviously not as efficient as Lightning Bolt. We want the life gain for the burn matchup. Negate, solid against just any combo or control decks. 1 Stony Silence against Affinity and Lantern. Not overloading on Stony Silences, since we also have like Engineered Explosives and Relics, which sometimes come in at the same time, but Stony Silences can just destroy certain matchups. Crucible for our tech edges, and 1 Ghost Quarter. In some matchups, this just wins the game if you resolve it. Wear Tear, good against artifacts. Problem enchantments like Blood Moon. 1 Anger, even though it's kind of difficult to cast for this deck, it's going to be great in a lot of matchups. And don't want to overload on Supreme Verdict, since it is a 4-drop, and we are low on 3-drops. So if you are cognizant of casting Anger of the Gods, you should be able to get the double red by turn 3 without taking too much damage. Crumble to Dust, just a little extra added insurance against the Tron decks, and an insta-win if you get Valakut against Scapeshift some of the time. Sometimes an instant win. Jace for a bit of extra card draw, and just a sticky Planeswalker, great against Lingering Souls as well. And Engineered Explosives, just a catch-all removal spell, good against a lot of different matchups, easy to bring in if you're looking for something extra to bring in. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Should be fun. Jeskai, is it back? Is it amazing? We're gonna find out.